Careful with that box, pal. Those are my lucky fishing rods. Worth more than the couch. That's the first thing out of my mouth on move-in day. Not hello, not thanks for hauling my life across the state. Nope. Just a weird fixation on 30 years of future fishing trips. The mover looks at me like I've lost it. You're 32, talking about retirement, he says. I shrug. Early bird gets the worm. Or, in my case, the base. Jacob Miller, 32, sold my chain of sporting goods stores last fall, walked away with just under $1 million, and thought, why wait until I'm old to enjoy life? So I bought a cabin. Real cabin, cedar siding, stone chimney, the kind of postcard view over Whispering Pines Lake that made my high school self doodle in algebra class. I wasn't planning on being a hermit. Morning fishing, afternoons maybe scribbling a book nobody reads, evenings with a beer pretending to know the constellations. Peace. That was the plan. Of course, old habits die hard. I started a little side hustle, Northern Horizon Property Management. Bought one rental property, automatic deposits, hired a management firm, set it and forget it. Money trickling in while I lived my lakeside fantasy. That Saturday morning, everything felt perfect. Pine scent like therapy, movers shuffling boxes, coffee in hand. I thought, Jacob, you cracked it. Then I saw her. Tall blonde, pulled back ponytail, workout clothes like she was storming the Olympics. She wasn't walking. She was marching. No, storming straight at me. Excuse me. She barked from halfway across the street. I lifted my coffee, friendly wave. Big mistake. She reached my driveway, jabbed a manicured finger at the moving truck. What exactly are you doing here? Welcome to retirement. Not birdsong, not peace, but a stranger demanding to know why I dared carry boxes into my own cabin. By the time she hit the edge of the driveway, her anger carved every line of her face. You can't just move in. Who gave you permission? I laughed. Permission? Last I checked, the deed was enough. Her eyes narrowed, camera out, click, click, click. She was documenting everything. Me, my truck, the movers hauling my recliner. One mover whispered, "Boss, should we be worried?" I waved him off. "Ma'am, I don't know who you are. Name's Jacob Miller. This is my cabin." "My name," she announced, theatrically, Crystal Parker, president of the Whispering Pines HOA. Standards. You don't meet them. I forced a smile. "Welcome packet." She spat the words. "No, what I can give you is 30 seconds to explain how you got hold of this cabin." Before I could respond, she was dialing 911. There's a man claiming to own a cabin he doesn't. Moving trucks, unloading furniture. Possible scam, maybe identity theft. I nearly dropped my coffee. Identity theft? Lady, I have the title papers in my glove box. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a woman deciding in 5 minutes I didn't belong, and she wasn't stopping. Movers shuffling back, muttering excuses. Crystal pacing like a guard dog, snapping photos, narrating under her breath. Suspicious vehicle, unauthorized delivery men, possible squatters. I tried reasoning one last time. Deed, mortgage, closing docs. Take a look. Not leaving. She smiled, fake enough to make my stomach churn. Oh, you'll be leaving. One way or another. I protect this neighborhood. 28 minutes later, the squad car rolled up. Officer Harris, mid-40s, weary, eyes landing on me. Crystal, Broadway-level performance. This man is pretending to own property. Harris nodded, then to me. Folder out, deed, mortgage, closing statement, insurance binder. Everything legit. Finally, Mr. Miller, everything checks out. Property is yours. Relief for 5 seconds. Then Harris turned to Crystal. "Ma'am, tenant calls." "You understand. Tenant calls." Suddenly, it clicked. Crystal didn't own her house either. She was a tenant pretending to be queen of the HOA. Next morning, click, click, click. Not birds. Crystal, in pajama pants and slippers, camera glued to her face. Violation letters soon followed. Mailbox paint not approved, unauthorized window treatments, excessive landscaping. By day 4, 8 violations stacked on my counter. She escalated, measuring grass with a ruler, peeking through windows, documenting garbage can placement. Everywhere I turned, she was there. Camera flashing, clipboard ready, righteous fury. The neighborhood began whispering. Flyers, photos, online posts. Her obsession was personal. That cabin used to be hers before a divorce 3 years back. She'd never gotten over it.by midweek. She'd posted my photo on the community site. Suspicious new resident. Unusual deliveries. Potential fraudulent activity. Facebook, forums, Nextdoor. She was painting me a criminal while posing as a concerned citizen. People believed her. I became a pariah. Teens avoided me. Neighbors turned their heads. Every small gesture screamed suspicion. Meanwhile, tenant calls, her own property secret, loomed in my mind, and I installed cameras as Officer Harris advised. Within 2 days, hours of footage. Crystal trespassing, photographing, peeking. Yet she didn't stop. Posts, maps, charts, timelines, an obsessive case file. She was crafting her own FBI dossier from pizza deliveries and lawn measurements. And neighbors ate it up. Then the revelation: rent check. Crystal had been paying $2,200 monthly to my LLC, Northern Lakes Property Management. 6 months, over $13,000. Funding her own harassment campaign. Cosmic justice in envelope form that we staged a meeting. Officer Harris, Jennifer the property manager, me, check in hand. Crystal arrived, ready to confront who she thought was a fraud. I laid the check on the table. She stared. Impossible. You forged it. I shook my head. No, Crystal. You've been renting from me. Silence, then panic. She hurled her binder. Screams, accusations. Jennifer calmly recited the facts. Perfect tenant, all documentation, everything legit. Eviction notice, 30 days. She couldn't believe it. I'm the HOA president. You can't do this to me. I looked her dead in the eye. Not anymore. Mask cracked. Fight drained. Defeated. Humiliated. The woman who tried to evict me had written the checks herself. But the universe wasn't done. Crystal recorded the meeting live, forgot privacy settings. Video spread like wildfire. HOA Karen Harris's neighbor. Turns out he's the landlord. TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Clips went viral. Karma amplified. The neighborhood shifted. Whispering Pines felt alive again. Kids laughed by the lake. Neighbors returned to friendly nods. First community barbecue post Crystal. 50 people, potato salad, 6 packs. The sound of children laughing by the shoreline. Sweetest revenge. Yet, amid humor and internet fame, I carried the memory of her sitting, clutching the eviction notice, whispering, "This isn't happening." The internet had turned her into a meme, but behind it was obsession, bitterness, humanity unraveling. Claire stood beside me that weekend. "You got your storybook retirement," she said, hand in mine. I laughed. Not quite the peaceful life I imagined. Fishing, naps, maybe a book, but lawyers, police, internet fame instead. A book deal came anyway. Landlord Karen case, they called it. People recognized me in town. Hardware store, diner, coffee shop jokes. Life's twisted humor. The neighbor screaming at you today might be paying rent to you tomorrow. Karma doesn't always show up on schedule, but when it does, it shows up with a camera crew. Whispering Pines became better, not perfect. Rules relaxed, meetings social, focus shifted to gardens, fishing, 4th of July picnics. Me? I learned patience. Stand your ground. Let the truth reveal itself. That night, alone on my deck, lake reflecting the moon, I thought of Crystal. Maybe rebuilding elsewhere, maybe blaming me. I whispered, not out of spite, but release. Next time, mind your own business. I leaned back, closed my eyes, and for the first time since moving here, felt the peace I'd been chasing all along. So, what would you do if your worst neighbor turned out to be your tenant? Drop your thoughts. Justice, karma, or sheer insanity? I want to hear how you'd handle a Crystal Parker in your life.